now call to order the February 10, 2022 Clackamas County Board of Commissioners business meeting. Gary Schmidt, our administrator, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Chair Smith. First, our staff support today, Stephen Madcore, County Counsel, Shannon Bays, Clerk to the Board, Rich Marvin from Public and Government Affairs. Commissioner Savas is out of the office today. Roll call, Commissioner Shull.
Here.
Commissioner Fisher.
Here.
Commissioner Schrader.
Here.
Chair Smith.
Here. Thank you very much. I will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. We are holding this meeting virtually and soon to return to in-person meetings, which I really like. If you've joined us via Zoom for this meeting and are interested in providing public comment, we will prompt you regarding how to do that when the time is right. General public comment will be taken at the usual allotted time. As always, the public is welcome to sign up to testify. Registration for public comment is via Zoom is available online. I would like to remind all participants, including staff, all elected officials and members of the public that Robert's Rules of Order will be enforced in this business meeting. We welcome your opinions and look forward to your polite participation. Gary, can you introduce the first agenda item?
Yes, Chair Smith. You have a fairly light agenda today, Commissioners. A consent agenda is next. We'll go right into that. Shannon, would you please read the consent agenda?
Yes. While I share my screen. Elected officials, approval of previous business meeting minutes. Health, Housing, and Human Services, approval of Amendment Number 2 to a subrecipient agreement with the Mental Health and Addiction Association of Oregon for alcohol and drug recovery peer-delivered services. Amendment adds $87,976.73 to the agreement, increasing the maximum grant value to $879,764.22. Funding through State of Oregon Community Mental Health Funds, no county general funds are involved. Approval of a revenue agreement with the State of Oregon, acting by and through its Oregon Health Authority for Choice Model Services. Agreement value is $847,892.99. Funding through the State of Oregon, no county general funds are involved. Approval of Amendment Number 3 with Do Good Multnomah to extend Clackamas County Veterans Village services for an additional 6 months and add an additional $142,450 for a new maximum contract value of $457,459, funded by county general funds through the Policy Level Proposal Fund Affordable Housing and Services Allocation. Approval of a construction Public Works Agreement for the Clackamas Volunteers in Medicine Health Clinic, construction with Petra Build Design, LLC, for $650,000, funded through Community Development Block Grant. No county general funds are involved. Approval of Drive Change Fund Award Agreement with Portland General Electric for the purchase of an electric vehicle to provide services for seniors, persons with disabilities, and low-income households, funded by PGE, through the Oregon Clean Fuels Program for $212,500. No county general funds are involved. Business and Community Services, approval of a county operating grant program agreement with the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department for the Barton Park East RV Campground paving. Grant provides $86,017 in funding support with an $86,017 matching contribution from Metro 2019 Natural Areas Bond. Finance, approval of Amendment Number 1 to the lease between Clackamas County Health, Housing, and Human Services, Clackamas Mental Health Clinic at Ross Center with Happy Valley TSL LLC and Happy Valley CET LLC. This amendment at 7 years and includes triple net costs, utility charges, and maintenance for a total of $1,021,578.70 across the life of the additional 7 years. Funded through State of Oregon Community Mental Health Program and Health Share of Oregon, Oregon Health Plans. No county general funds are involved. That is the end of the regular consent agenda, Chair.
Thank you, Shannon. Does any commissioner wish to remove anything from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Seconded.
Commissioner Fisher has moved to approval of the consent agenda and Commissioner Scholl has seconded the motion. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none. Shannon, can you please call the poll?
Commissioner Schrader,
Aye.
Commissioner Scholl,
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher,
Aye.
Chair Smith.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. Thank you very much. I will now recess as the Board of County Commissioners and convene as the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Board. Gary.
Thank you, Chair Smith. Next is the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District consent agenda. Shannon, would you please read the consent agenda?
North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District, approval of amendment number 3 to the Strategic Partnerships and Use Intergovernmental Agreement with North Clackamas Parks and Recreation and North Clackamas School District for the use of shared facilities. This amendment extends the Hoodview field use through June 30th, 2026. There is no fiscal impact. That is the end of my list.
Thank you. Does any commissioner wish to remove this item from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I move for approval.
North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District consent agenda.
Seconded.
Commissioner Schrader has moved the NCPRD consent agenda and Commissioner Scholl has seconded that. Any further comment on these items? Seeing none, Shannon, please call the poll.
Commissioner Fisher,
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader,
Aye.
Commissioner Scholl,
Aye.
Chair Smith.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. I will now adjourn as the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Board and convene as the Water Environment Services Board. Gary, what's up?
Thank you, Chair Smith. Next is the Water Environment Services consent agenda. Shannon, would you please read the consent agenda?
Approval of a contract with Xylem Water Solutions USA, Inc. for the purchase of pumps for the Bolton Pump Station. Contract value is $188,513.88, funded through West Capital Improvement Funds. No county general funds are involved. Authorization to purchase a Ford F-450 sewer line inspection vehicle. Purchase value is $321,911, funded through budgeted West Capital Improvement Funds. No county general funds are involved. That is the end of my list.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioner wish to remove anything from this consent agenda? See none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move for approval of the Water Environment Services consent agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Scholl has moved for approval of the West consent agenda and Commissioner Fisher has seconded that motion. Any further discussion? See none. Shannon, please call the poll.
Commissioner Schrader,
Aye.
Commissioner Scholl,
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher,
Aye.
Chair Smith.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. I will now adjourn as the Water Environment Service Board and reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners. Up next, excuse me, is public communication. This portion of the agenda shall be limited to items of county business which are properly the object of board consideration and should be nonpartisan in nature, as the BCC is a nonpartisan governing board under Oregon Revised statutes and county code. Comments shall be respectful and courteous to all. As a reminder, you can email submissions for public comment at bcc@clackamas.us, and these will be accepted as part of the public record. However, we will not be reading them at this meeting due to time constraints. I will now open the meeting for public testimony. And Shannon, you will moderate this part. How many do we have signed up to testify today?
We have 2 pre-registered.
Okay, go ahead, please.
So if anyone is on Zoom but did not have a chance to register ahead of time and would like to testify, please select the raise hand feature on your screen. If you are on the phone, that is *6. I will call on the registered participants first and then the raised hands in the order they were received. First up is Chris Waller. Chris, please unmute yourself, state your name and area of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Chris Waller, Jennings Lodge. Last year on Tuesday, February 9th, Chair Smith moved to limit public testimony to this board, stating, "I'm going to try to maintain our integrity with some people who found what's going on disgusting." What was going on? The public was calling for the resignation of Commissioner Shull after the revelation of his racist, xenophobic Facebook posts. No threats of violence, no shouting out while others spoke, no disrespect for the rules, no spouting of conspiracy theories, no taking over the chambers, just residents of this county stating their opinion. Yet Chair Smith tried to shut it all down. In the interim, Chair Smith has repeatedly turned the microphone off on speakers with whom she disagrees, including someone who simply asked that she pay attention to what the speaker was saying. Look where we are today. This board is having to meet virtually. Why? Not because of those of us working to recall Commissioner Shull. Instead, it's because of the same people that Chair Smith and Commissioner Shull have been assiduously courting, anti-vaccine and anti-mask zealots. After the September 12th meeting of this board, where hundreds of zealots jammed into this room, breaking fire codes, spouting conspiracy theories, and verbally assaulting anyone who disagreed with them, Chair Smith posted, "Thank you for taking the time to voice your opinions," and Shull stated that that evening was the first time he enjoyed being a commissioner. When that happened again at the January 13th meeting, it was shameful and a stain on our county. Another unruly crowd, many of them the same people who were here in September, again refused to follow the rules, shouted at members of the board and speakers, and were enough of a threat that the meeting was moved to virtual. These same people continued to occupy the room and spew vitriol and wild conspiracy theories. And Commissioner Shull was right there with them, cheering them on and praying with them, nodding along and clapping as they stated that COVID precautions were a violent coup on our county, that it is our obligation to get rid of the government, that every county clerk in the state of Oregon is guilty of federal election law violations, that a global cabal is using COVID to bring about a global monetary system, and over that the election was stolen and Trump is still president. We cannot normalize this behavior. To state, as Commissioner Shull did, that these were just unhappy people expressing their views is as appalling as the RNC stating that the January 6th insurrection was legitimate political discourse.
Thank you, Shannon. Who's up next?
Up next is Les Poole. Just one moment. It doesn't appear that Mr. Poole is on at this time. If anyone else would like to speak at this time, please raise your hand. That is the end of my list, and I have no raised hands, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Wow, Commissioners, we are getting this meeting done in short order. Gary, we will now go to the Commissioner Administrator update.
Thank you, Chair Smith. Commissioners, I always like to share good news of what's going on with our county employees and our services. Today, I'd like to share with you some good news about our Clackamas Safe and Strong program. As you will recall, this is a service Clackamas County provides to anyone in the county who is struggling with the impacts of this pandemic. While some of our staff were staffing a public health vaccine table recently, a resident came to the table with all of her belongings with her. Visibly exhausted and experiencing pain, this person was fleeing a domestic violence situation and needed housing. So our staff on the Clackamas Safe and Strong team listened to what she needed, reached out to our crisis line on her behalf. Our staff found her a place at the Father's Heart Warming Shelter immediately. Our county case manager helped facilitate that connection with Father's Heart, greeted this person, made sure she had a warm meal and a safe place to stay for the night. And this woman was then successfully connected to further recovery resources that very next day. So that's just one example of this phenomenal program we have called Clackamas Safe and Strong. Again, this person was simply coming to a vaccine clinic, but was not there for a vaccine, but needed help. And our staff helped her. So thank you to our phenomenal staff and our Health, Housing, Human Resources program, that department that oversees this program, our excellent staff and volunteers that work this program, and just one example of how we are doing good things here for our public of Clackamas County. Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Gary, that's a great story. Just I don't know how you cannot have feelings after hearing something like that. That is just wonderful. Thank you, staff, for doing that and helping these people. Is that it, Gary? We will now open it up to Commissioner Communication. I believe Commissioner Schrader, you're up first today.
Well, thank you, Chair Smith. Just a quick update. We had some great meetings with the Association of Oregon Counties on Monday. Basically, legislative committee meeting where we were reviewing what's going to happen in the short session and making those decisions of what the body wants to support, remain neutral on, and sometimes not support. And also we had a board meeting where we discussed our dues and how we are using our dues and how are we maintaining the fiscal health of the organization. So that was a good meeting. I was glad to be there. And frankly, that's about all I have this week. I am getting ready to go to the National Association of Counties, where I will be chairing the Community Economic Development and Workforce Committee. And we will be looking at our agenda there to put forward our resolutions of the work we're going to be doing and how we're going to be lobbying our federal delegations across the, from all over the counties of the United States, having things to do with housing, economic development, and workforce. So that's what I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Schrader. Commissioner Fisher, you're up.
Yes, I almost want to say ditto to Commissioner Schrader's communication because we're going in all the same meetings, except, well, she's chairing the Workforce and Economic Development. I am one of the vice chairs for the Human Services and Education Committee, of which we are focused greatly from both angles on childcare, hoping to move the dial on that. Just a heads up, I don't know if other commissioners got connected with Representative Neron regarding her bill regarding public meetings laws. I'm going to, the Association of Oregon Counties voted to oppose as written. And I was concerned about that. I didn't agree with that. I thought it was not good for elected officials to oppose transparency, even it's as written. I thought that was not a good stance, but I am going to, from myself, not from our board, but she has asked that I submit some written testimony, and I'm going to do that, just basically saying that I support what the bill's intended to do, and that will be from me, not from Clackamas County. But I do know that if anybody else is interested, they are accepting testimony on that bill till 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. If anyone else is interested in reviewing it and weighing in, this is her key bill. She does a lot for us here at the county, great partner in a lot of areas that we all care about. So I want to be there for her vice bill. That's all I've got to share today.
Thank you, Commissioner Fisher. Commissioner Scholl, you're up.
Yes, good morning, residents of Clackamas County. I'd like to respond to our caller today. The people who were at the meeting on 13 January were not zealots. They're concerned citizens who came to express their feelings. If anybody spews hateful, twisted vitriol, it's today's caller. On the appointment of the new representative for HD 39, on Monday, the board had the privilege to consider 3 outstanding nominations to backfill Christine Drazen as representative to HD 39. We selected James Heeb, who will serve as your representative through December of this year, unless he's reelected. On the groundbreaking for the Clackamas Volunteers in Medicine Health Center, on Friday, I attended the groundbreaking ceremony for the new health center there at Claremont College on the community college campus here in Oregon City. And it's going to be an outstanding facility to provide needed health care to people who need it the most. And thank you very much to the people of Clackamas Volunteers in Medicine for all you do for our people in the county. On the Hoodland Park District, Last week, the board moved to send the Hoodland Park District to the polls in May for vote of the people. We look forward to seeing how that comes out. On masks, of course, the governor has, for 2 years, done her mandates and now says on 31 March, the masks go away, provided we get down to under 400 people in a hospital for COVID. So we look forward to that. And on public meetings, many of you have called and made your concerns known for getting back to in-person public meetings. I agree with you. We look forward to seeing you here in person as soon as possible. On legislation, HB 4079, which was a 3% Oregon sales tax, got pulled on 8 February after an avalanche of opposition. That was a bill that was hidden so that you most likely never heard about it. We have an election coming up this year for representatives to the state legislature. Get involved. The window to file closes on 8 March. Your state needs you. Clackamas County needs you. And finally, on tolling, ODOT is still getting closer to tolling the southern end of I-205 starting in 2024 or 2025. Our county and our cities have expressed their concerns about negative aspects of tolling, congestion pricing, and diversion onto our local streets. They need your help. Contact your state rep today. Make your voice known. Tolling is another form of tax. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Shull. This week on Monday, I testified Monday evening before the House Committee on Wildfire Recovery on the Riverside fire above Estacada. The committees are still listening to the recovery efforts and want our feedback on how it was going. I put in another pitch for opening Highway 224 above Estacada that is still not open. And it's still somewhat dangerous. When I toured it last September with the governor and Representative Christine Drazen, there were still boulders and rocks falling as we were there. And that really needs to be fixed. That whole area was just totally burned and scarified, and the rocks even burned. And that's why they're falling down, because there's no vegetation left to keep them up. This week, the board considered, we had 2 land use hearings on historic overlays. And we do have a designation in Clackamas County. We approved one who sought a historic overlay. And then we approved another one who wanted the historic overlay to go away. And these were property owners who applied, and we granted them their wish. And it was very interesting. I really enjoyed working with my commissioners on the historical aspects of what we have in Clackamas County. And we have quite a bit of it. We're one of the oldest counties in Oregon. This week, we had an awards ceremony for our Clackamas County employees. That was yesterday, achieving and celebrating excellence in our county employees. That was a virtual luncheon. And I told them that the next time, hopefully we will be in person and we will have it catered by Buster's or some other wonderful restaurant. And I loved hearing the stories. The supervisors would talk about how wonderful these employees were. And it's based on years of service, starting at 5 years and all the way up to 25 years. We have some employees. And it was just a really wonderful opportunity to get to know some personal aspects about our employees. Yes, the Founders Clinic celebration was last Friday, and I was very happy to be able to work with Rob Cook at H3S so Clackamas County could give them a $650,000 block grant to help for the construction of that. I have toured that before, and this organization has been working with Tim Cook, the president of CCC, and there's, I think, just wonderful opportunities. They have exceeded their fundraising. Representative Meek got some money, ARPA money, from the state legislature, about $600,000, and we were able to do $650,000, so they were at $1 million. And at $1 million, the other nonprofits said, yes, we will help with that, but none of the nonprofits they sought out wanted to be the first give. and they needed about 2.1 million, 2.2 million. I understand the fundraising efforts have gone to 3 million. So they will be able to fully fund the new health clinic with dental services and a health manager at the clinic. And then doctors will come in from OHSU on training in the practicum to practice and learn about Clackamas County as the wonderful place. And I'm just really happy that that is being realized. We approved that agenda item today, and moving forward, I just can't wait for it to be realized. Commissioners, seeing no further business before this board, we will now adjourn. Thank you.